Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Pisces, February 2020, Career and Finance. Just wanted to give you a quick idea of my layout. I do have quite a few clarifier cards in around the devil, just the number of cards that happen to fall out for that. I do have a couple of clarifiers from the Thelema deck, and again, death is actually expressed twice there, so I just wanted to let you know that that is some kind of it's a stronger intensified energy for clarifier and also for major arcana following that Six of Swords. But anyway, outside of that, the back three cards, Page of Raphael, Eight of Ariel, as well as the Nine of Raphael, those are the Archangel Power Tarot cards. Those ones are just overall general energy for the month of February 2020, and advice cards. So just to start off, maybe I'll read those because I tend to forget. So the Page of Raphael speaks to a new emotional situation, messages regarding relationships or social invitations, and it's great intuitive insights. And then we also have the Eight of Ariel, which is take great pride in your excellent work. Practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education in training. And then the Nine of Raphael is make a wish. Dreams become reality, and it's a joyful time of life. So I feel that you are definitely moving into, or have definitely overcome something because of all of the death and transformation cards, moving away from, pain and conflict with the Six of Swords. You even have the Three of Swords up here, plus you have the Three of Swords down here, and that's all clarifying the devil energy. So, and you've got Four of Swords, so there was definitely some conflict that had happened either for the month of February or that you have just been overcoming. But again, with the Page of Raphael, that's really anything that's related to pages is a messenger. So it's information that's coming through about a new emotional situation. So perhaps this was related to an emotional situation that you've had to deal with and overcome, but I would say that is suggested here, and also with great intuitive insights, meaning that the divine is leading you through to that healing process. And eights, again, are all about overcoming obstacles, and you're moving past that time of conflict as well. There are a couple of cards, there's a lot of major arcana cards here, which really speaks to some significant changes for the month of February. Again, this looks to be more on an emotional level because there's a lot of swords, there's a lot of mental energy here, and, especially with death and transformation, that speaks to a lot of healing and things that had to be done. So moving back into the reading here, and also just to clarify on that Nine of Raphael, nines represent the self-confidence and the completeness and, courage and action that was required to make something change and manifest. So if it's not right now, having you move toward, your dreams and goals and back on track, then it has been, a resonant energy that has carried over. But I do feel this is kind of moving forward, and that you're getting past some of these other issues here that's trickled over maybe from January, because as they say, there's a lot of mental energy going on here for February. Anyway, back to the reading. We are starting out with a Three of Swords, and again, this is about someone who's seeking to balance something out. So, you might have felt that there were, perhaps there was some kind of rejection or some kind of hurt, some kind of wounding of some sort. Angry words, could be conflicts, arguments, anything like that, or difficulties just generally, that where you've basically you've suffered some kind of a setback here with the Three of Swords. So I don't really see it surrounded by anything that's love-oriented cards at all, so I don't see anything third-party relationships or anything like that. This is really just speaking to mindset. I feel that there was some endings, as I said, with all of the tens here, beginnings and endings. And there were some sacrifices, and definitely there was some kind of pain that's come into the month of February, because that's where your starting point is. So it's something that's come in from January that's pulling into February. It is actually followed by the King of Wands. Wands are about energy, and for sure I feel this is actually an energy of a person. So this could either be yourself or another energy around you, but this represents somebody who's really a powerful figure, somebody who's quite an authoritative energy, somebody who, was inspiring and, you know, very charismatic, role model type energy. So maybe it was in relation to this person that you've had this conflict or this ending or this loss of some sort. But I do feel that this person, you know, may have inspired you in some level. But it feels like there was some kind of pain surrounding this person. And again, it could also represent you, you know, but I feel that it is, you know, it feels like it's more along the lines of somebody that has affected you in some way that's caused a level of pain or loss or sacrifice, something where you've had to heal from, because you have been asked in the following card around this person, you know, who you felt to be a role model, and you know, who was vital and powerful and exciting, and you know, somebody who was quite confident, and you know, maybe somebody that you looked up to. But it is, again, feels like healing, because there's a pain card around it, and it's also the universe is asking you to be strong. So with the strength card, you know, you're asking, the universe is asking you to be strong, to step back into your power, take charge of your life again. So maybe there was a sense of you being lost for a period of time there, but you're asking to have that endurance to go forward and find your inner strength, because you are able to, it's actually courage that you may not have even realized that you had, but it is asking you to be strong. Moving on to that, there's another energy around you here that feels as though, you know, because you're being asked to stand back into your personal power, be courageous, get past whatever the loss or the energy was surrounding this King of Wands. There's also, nights are also about news coming in. It can indicate a direction. This night is looking into the past, so I feel that, you know, this was news, you know, that you're moving past this energy that's up here. And again, these are all clarifiers here for the Six of Swords. But that Knight of Wands speaks to me not so much of a person, although again, it still could represent a person coming through, but it speaks to me of some kind of insight as far as, you know, you getting past something from the past. But again, if it is an energy of a person, it would represent somebody who hates to be possessed, somebody who's really restless and, you know, full of energy and vibrant, and, you know, somebody who's impatient and just a little more of a carefree person. So, you know, and maybe it is you that's moving into this energy with, you've got some kind of enthusiastic project of sorts. I mean, it does represent a creative person. Again, it's not really surrounded by any cards that relate to, you know, opportunities in that, especially in that first week of February. So I would say that, again, this really looks to be more of an energy that suggests that you are getting past some kind of, you know, hurtful situation that trailed into February. So again, nights are about those messages, news that's coming through, but it is something that is, his direction is moving into the past here. And followed by the Six of Swords, you do have, sixes are about that finding peace and harmony again, and, you know, able to be more idealistic. And, you know, for sure, swords are, again, of the mind, but the Six of Swords really speaks to you moving past troubled waters, so a difficult time, and you're moving into something that's more peaceful, and you are starting to feel more positive about life. They're, again, surrounded by and moving forward. There was also the Death card here, and it was also clarified by the Death card for the Six of Swords, which to me indicates, you know, tens are always about beginnings and endings, starting on a new cycle, end of a new cycle, starting onto a new path, transitioning forward. But it also, again, is the Six of Swords is speaking to better times ahead. You know, you're releasing baggage, and you're able to make some kind of a transition, you know, to move ahead. I mean, it's, again, death cards don't always mean death, but I mean, it is pretty significant in this reading. So, you know, maybe there was some kind of an end of a relationship that, you know, that forced you to fall into some kind of healing. But again, death is pretty emphasized here, that you are letting go of that past, and you're eliminating the things that you had attachments to, negative or otherwise, you know, and you're able to move forward. It's no longer blocking you. So again, there was a clarifier down here of the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, again, speaks to a person that is, I'm not sure that it's really relating to a person in this particular case as a clarifier, but it could be. But really it's somebody who was, stable and powerful and, speaks to a businessman, somebody who's got that Midas touch, who's competent and responsible, has drive and determination. Just somebody who has overall good business sense. And I mean, it could represent you. It could, surrounding these other cards, it could be that you're moving past, some kind of a situation that brought an end to a relationship of sorts that was maybe related to the Knight of Wands, or the King of Wands, sorry, from the beginning. And maybe the, again, King of Pentacles could be your energy here, is what I'm gathering. So there is also some indication here, as I said, moving away from the death, which was also clarified by the Seven of Cups. And the Sevens also speak to a lot of decisions that were made around this situation, this ending of a cycle and transitioning. So there was a period where you felt a little disorganized, felt that there was some sense of, not being maybe a little bit more scattered. But again, that was a period where there was a lot of anxiety as well with Seven of Cups and that ending cycle. So moving into that, toward the middle of February, I also see now that there is more of an energy of celebration. So the Three of Cups is about achievement, and it's about, team creativity and self-expression and starting to build on something again. So there's a celebration. You're starting to maybe build your life back up again, and moving forward, and you are definitely feeling a lot more positive about things toward the middle of February. But it's also followed by the Star card. And the Star card is a card of illumination, but because it's followed by the Devil card, I feel that it's illuminating something of a negative energy here. So it is drawing attention to something that, that represents addictions or some kind of a, an extreme positive or negative behavior. But again, with the Star card, I mean, it's really speaking to the divine, the intuitive nature of ourselves. The divine's coming through here. It's putting you back in touch with that universal energy. It's trying to guide you back into, into more promising period. And again, unfortunately, I don't really see a lot of pentacles or anything around this to indicate that it's some kind of a windfall or money is coming through on that level. Again, it just speaks to more of a healing. And the Devil card, as I said, is really one of, I feel that the Star card is illuminating that there was some energy around over control or manipulation or some kind of addictive pattern, some kind of temptation possibly that went on there. It could be a limited perception, limiting beliefs, but I feel that overall it was some kind of temptation that is being highlighted here as well, because the Two of Cups speaks to, there being you trying to regain some kind of balance after that energy, because that's being clarified here. So the Two of Cups is about trying to balance out that temptation, that negative energy. And it could actually be in relation to, balance and fairness and maybe your mindset about how do I make this right. And it is followed again by some other emotional cards here. The Three of Swords, again, there with conflict as you had from the beginning. Conflict or separation or some kind of pain, and again, that's also surrounding that Devil energy. As well, you have the Six of Cups, and again, Six of Cups speaks to that nostalgic energy, so it's something that had to do with the past. It was a time where maybe things were something around this temptation also, as I said, had related to something of the past. Maybe it was, some person, from your past that brought about some kind of conflict or healing, where you actually started to pull away because the Four of Swords, you know, indicates that there was you trying to find balance again. So I don't know if you can see that on the screen here, but the Four of Swords is also a clarifier for the Seven of Wands. And again, you know, the Seven of Wands is also a card that speaks to, you know, you being defensive and standing your ground, and deeper fears and doubts all surrounding this devil energy. So there feels like you were up against something, or you felt threatened in some way, and you're trying to regain balance all over the place here, all around this devil energy. And it had something to do with nostalgia, something of the past. And the Four of Swords, like I said, swords is dealing with things of the mind. But the Four of Swords is still speaking to you trying to make things right, find balance, pulling back, you know, trying to find some alone time and heal. And again, it's all around this devil energy, which is being highlighted. It's the next card here also speaks to, this does feel like it's an energy of a person, because it is a Libra energy. So the Empress is really, you know, the nurturing, creative type person. This is somebody who is, you know, just an overall good person. Somebody who has, she has a she has a creative energy about them, as I said. It could even be about developing yourself, like some kind of self-development here, but I feel it is more related to a person. So I would still say, again, it's just a really good energy. It's a Libra. It generally represents a Libra energy, but somebody who has, you know, it's harmonious and nurturing and caring and looks after other people, and, you know, could even be the birth of an idea coming through here as well. And then we're moving into the Three of Wands following that. So the Three of Wands, again, wands are action, energy towards something. But it does feel like at the end of the month here, you are starting to make plans again. You're trying to, you know, get your life back in order, and you're trying to expand and, you know, get away from whatever this healing energy is here that you had to do over the course of February. And again, it looks like it trickled over from January, just because it's so strong with the death and transition cards and the healing and trying to find balance. But the three of Wands really speaks to, you know, your own efforts being put forward to try to make things right and go on to this new path and get back to life the way you normally would be, you know, starting your path out again after some kind of healing. So you're like, it just feels like you're trying to right things again. You're just trying to get back to where you were, and jump in ahead with the Fool. Again, Fool and the Lovers is really speaking to that level of completion as well. But Fool energy is really starting back on the path, you know, going back to maybe square one from where you were. It's like you took some time off, you were on a little bit of a hiatus, and now you're getting back to, you know, being, you know, back onto your enthusiastic or sort of free-spirited way in some way. You're letting go of worries anyway with the Fool. So you're making some plans, you're letting go of worries, you're moving forward into some kind of completeness here with the Lovers card. And again, as I said, I mean, it just feels like this month was really one of healing, you know, because the Lovers, this wasn't really a clarifier for the Fool. I just ran out of space. I don't know if you can see that there. I'll just pull it over. This was just an additional card. I just didn't have a lot of room there, but I just wanted to let you know that the Lovers card was a card in itself on its own, and it does represent that, you know, there's some kind of big change coming, and that whether it's a job that's coming forward, but you're definitely being intuitively led with this card, you know, and there's still a lot of it could even speak to conflicting choices as well, but some kind of partnership or whatever that's coming through there. But again, it is still moving ahead. So anyway, hope that gave you a little bit of insight for the month of February 2020, career and finance. Although again, this was really more of a healing energy and trying to get back on track. But by the end of February, it looks like you are ready to go. And so March will probably, I would say, speak to, you know, those changes in terms of money. So anyway, hope this was helpful to you for, again, career and finance, February 2020. For you Pisces, and we will speak to you in March.